Welcome to Teaching That Counts, a podcast dedicated to the teaching and learning of mathematics. We discuss a variety of topics from building thinking classrooms to creating a more equitable math class. I hope that the conversations that I have with my guests help inspire you in your own classroom, school, or district, or if you're a parent like me, with your child's mathematics journey. You can find me via my website, teachingthatcountspodcast.com, or on socials at Maestas Teach. Thank you again for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the podcast. All right, well, welcome to the podcast today. I'm so excited to share with you, well, I would say one of my favorite episodes. I had so much fun recording this episode, and I actually think that you're going to have fun listening to it, but I think I actually had more fun recording this episode than you are going to have listening to it. And that's because I get the awesome time spending some time with my kids and having them on the podcast. I have 3 kids, and you'll get to hear from them on how they love math and how they like math class and what they like to do. They even talk about assessment. Yep, we talk about assessment. And we have a really good time just talking about the stuff they're doing in school. And a special treat, my daughter and my son get to read a book. And it's a children's book that we used to read to them a long time ago. It's called 789. Really a lot of fun. A ton of cool math puns. So if you're a math person like me and you like to hear all these funny puns, stick around and listen to that. It's a really good time. You know, we talk a lot about uplifting student voice, student belonging, student agency, and I thought it'd be a great way to listen to some student voice. Now, of course, these are my kids. We have conversations at home about math all the time, and they have a math teacher to come home to. And so, you know, whenever I'm talking to teachers out there and I want to use my kids as an example, I always have to preface that my kids are a sample size of 1, and they are, they have things that other students might not have, like, the ability to go home and get help from a math teacher. So, and, basically conversations that we've had at home about math, and we do math problems at home just for fun. So I realized that not all families are like that, or they don't, some people, there are families that don't have access to individuals at home that can help them all the time, or tutoring or things like that. So, I do understand that my kids are just, they're kids, and they come from my household. So I don't, like I said, a sample size of 1. But I hope that in this podcast, you can listen to what they, the voice that they bring to math education. And of course, they probably hear me, Dad, talk a lot about math ed and the way that that things kind of are rolling out, and how math should be structured in school, or just, some of those things that I talk about at work all the time. So, obviously that kind of rubs off on them. But I was really shocked at some of the things they said as well, and some of their opinions on the way they see themselves in math and the way they see themselves getting better and learning. And I was actually, one of the things I loved about this podcast is listening to their growth mindsets and how much they love learning. And I really hope that continues in their life. So without further ado, I really hope you enjoy this podcast with Abel Maestas and his kids. Thanks for listening. Okay, so this is the next podcast, and I have the specialist of special guests. And so we're going to go around and introduce yourself, specialist of special guests, and then what grade are you in? So just say your first name and then your grade. Go ahead, we'll start you over there.
My name is Gabriella/Gabby, and I'm in 4th grade.
So my name is Elijah, and I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Dominic. I'm in 9th grade.
And these are my kids. So this is the Maestas clan, right?
Yeah.
And we get to talk about math. Is that okay? That's what
Yeah.
most of my listeners are math teachers.
Exactly.
So
It's a math
Yeah.
podcast.
I want you guys to be honest, and as
Okay.
any teenager, Dominic is on his cell phone.
Dominic, get off your phone.
Yeah, don't watch YouTube while I'm asking you questions.
Stop looking at Inside Out too, Dominic.
So the first question. I already know the answer to this question, but do you like math?
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. All
Most
right.
of the time. Most of the time.
Yes.
So what do you like about math? Like when do you like? You said most of the time. So when do you like math?
So instead of saying when I like math, I'm gonna say when I don't like. It's the
Okay.
repetitiveness of it. Sometimes it gets repetitive.
So like if you had like 50. If you had like 50 solving equations problems,
Yeah, I would hate that.
you would hate that.
I would.
But if you had like a big big problem to solve,
Mhm.
Like if I had
It
if
would
I had
be more
if I had
intricate and
20
fun.
small equation problems, I wouldn't like it. But if there were like 2 bigger, more complex, hard, challenging ones, it would be way more fun
Mhm.
oh, that's
to try and challenge myself and then have the teacher explain how to do it. Because that's what we did a few days ago. It was a brand new concept that we didn't know. It was like a harder form of equations. I think it was something like high school math. And then she explained it to us 2 days ago.
oh yeah. Well,
After we already had to do it on our own.
the other day when you were doing your homework, we
Yeah.
saw those problems, and they were
That one.
so those were called rational
Oh yeah.
expressions,
Rationals.
and so you were
Rationals.
solving those, and then I gave you that other one that was the 11th
hard
grade
one, the
one,
11th
right? And you
grade.
had to think about that.
Yeah.
So you like it
Sounds
when you
harder.
get like a problem and you get to think about it
Mhm.
for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
the teacher kind of shows you how to do the problem
Mhm.
after you've kind of been able to look through the problem a bit.
Yeah.
Does that seem like that way that you could use what you already know
Mhm.
on some things?
Yeah. Because in one way, you can, with My Open Math, the program that we use, you can retry questions. So therefore, you can use trial and error to try and figure out the right way to do it. And eventually, I was able to figure out how to do it
Do
on
you
my
like
own.
do you like that when you get to check your own answer and see if
Yeah.
you got it right?
Yeah, because in my class, during the challenge problems, we after each problem we go over and check our work.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher does the problem and shows us, and we get to check our own work, and we do an X if we got the problem wrong, a check if we got it partially right, and then a star if we got it fully correct.
How does it make you feel when you get a star?
Good.
Yeah, good. How about a check?
A check that I need to work on the problem a bit more.
Work on a problem a bit more.
Mhm.
Yeah, so challenge yourself.
Yeah.
So what's your? How about you, Dominic? What's your, I guess, favorite? If you like math, I know that you like math. We've been doing math a lot for a long time in our house. So, when is math likable?
I like when I'm learning like new things at my own pace too. Like especially like just being given a worksheet of new stuff and just running through it and seeing what I can get out of it. I like doing that, and then I like sometimes like competing with my friends in class to see who can get done the fastest or who gets the highest score and that sort of thing. I have fun doing that.
You guys do like quizzes or Kahoots?
Yeah.
We don't.
We
My class
we
doesn't
have
do that.
we have
really.
done like 2 math Kahoots this year so far, and we've done like 3 math games in pairs.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Are those fun?
Yeah. One
Yeah.
of them was like a tic-tac-toe type
okay.
of thing
Uh-huh.
with fractions, and we had dice, and we rolled a dice, and whatever number we got corresponds to a fraction, and we have to find that fraction on the tic-tac-toe board,
Oh, cool.
or an equivalent fraction to that fraction if there were none of that fraction on the board.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Dominic, I know that you and your friends play a lot of games on your phone. like they're like text games,
Mhm.
right? Are there any that are like math? I know you do one that's word related where you got to kind of come up with
Wordle?
all these. I don't know if it's
No.
word. I know
No,
he does
it's not
Wordle, but
Wordle.
it's this other one
different
where you
one.
got to like you got to like put the letters to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
a
yeah.
word. Is there any of them that are like math related?
Not really. I
Not
mean,
related?
the closest.
Why
thing
not?
would
You
be, like,
kill them. You should challenge them in a math related one, and then you could just like own them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they don't make a lot of those. A lot of them are like time wasters. The closest thing to math related would be like chess.
Chess.
Chess is fun.
I hear that's popular.
Yeah.
Why
it
are you
is.
guys? There's a lot of people playing chess.
Yeah.
I'm better at checkers than chess.
Yeah. Well, you're
Uh,
only in 4th grade, so you
Mhm.
just started. I think Elijah was playing chess with you the other, just showing you how to play.
Yeah.
I was helping her out. And for my school, we do this weird thing called Kodiak Crew and Time for 3rd period. It's a shorter class, 30 minutes. On minimum day Wednesdays, when the day is shorter, we don't have 3rd period. They just remove it.
Mhm.
And on Mondays and Fridays, we go to our Kodiak Crew teacher, which is basically like a life skills class and stuff. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're allowed to pick a teacher that we want to go to, and all the teachers do various different things. And one of the teachers, it's one of my favorites to go to, on Tuesdays, she does chess, and we're allowed to play chess with like our friends or anyone else that we want to.
Yeah.
And then on Thursdays, we play Uno, so it's fun.
Oh. Yeah. Uno. Those are strategy games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Very
do you do well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually
Yeah.
I end up winning.
Yeah.
The one time I've been able to do chess, because sometimes you don't get into the one you want, because obviously it's a fun thing that a lot of people want to do, so therefore sometimes you get into the more boring ones.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, like-
too many people sign up for the same one, and so some people have to get kicked out
Oh.
of it
Yeah.
and get put into a separate one that they didn't choose.
A few weeks ago, me and Elijah were playing Uno,
No, we were.
And-
That was funny.
and Elijah won the first round, and I'm like, wait, no, you have to win 2 rounds.
And then I won
and
that
then, and then he drawed 3 more cards and won that one.
He won the
And
second
then
one,
I'm like, no, 3 times. No, wait, 5 times.
3 out of 5. Best at 3 out of 5.
No, I have to win 5
You have to-
times in order to actually win. And
Yeah.
then I drew an extra 5 cards. And then I won again.
Won
Oh,
again.
wow.
And then I drew
And then-
7 and
And
won
then
again.
you won again.
And then I drew
and-
another 7
And won
and won
again.
again. I won 5 times in a row, drawing more cards every time, and she
Yeah.
lost every
I
single
lost
time.
every single time.
And like almost every single round that I won, at the end I was like, "All right, Gabby, change it to the right color. Pick the right color."
yeah.
And then
Yeah. When he had one card.
most of the time she either kept it the same or changed to a different color, and then I'm like, "You picked the wrong color. It's a wild draw for
Yeah.
or it's just
that's
a wild."
unlucky. That's
And,
unlucky.
It was it. I got very
And,
lucky.
and then we
She got
had
very
a pack
unlucky.
of gummies in the wrapper,
Yeah, what-
and
you
we were
started
like
throwing them
tossing it to each other,
Yeah, you kept throwing fruit
Yes.
snacks at me.
and then
You should
then
have caught him with your mouth.
No, I can't catch them.
No, they were in the wrapper.
Oh, that would have been
No,
not
they-
tasty.
They were in the wrapper.
And then
Dad, we're
and
not
then
throwing loose fruit snacks at each other.
And
The
then-
dog will get him.
and then
No, she
I
wouldn't.
threw
It's
it.
your guys' room upstairs.
I threw
Oh.
it to him, and
your guys'
it
room.
got stuck in
Like a tiny little crack.
in a tiny little crack of a dresser
Oh,
of the dresser.
oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So Dominic, I'm going to go back to the chess thing here. Dominic, how
Yeah,
many
chess.
of your friends play chess?
Not as many as anymore, but there used to be a time where like all of my friends would just be playing chess, like during various times. In class was a major one that was probably not the best time to be playing it.
No,
But
probably not.
you know,
You get your work done pretty quickly.
usually, yeah.
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 I get work
For-
done in like 10 minutes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like max 10 minutes in my math class right now.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's easy and kind of
So-
boring.
Okay, easy and kind of boring.
Yeah, speaking of,
What would so you mentioned it was easy and boring. What would make it less boring?
I'm not sure, honestly.
If you could like make the class more, if you can make that more interesting, but like still be, math, not like just playing games all the time. What do you think you you would do. I know what we do. Like I told you guys about the lessons that I do where people are standing up and they're working in groups and they're doing
that one. We do that sometimes in my math class, and that's those are some of my favorite days to be able to like just get around and do stuff with my peers and just do that, like go around the class. We do like this stations thing where we go around and we solve math problems on the wall and we write it down on a piece of paper and we do all that sort of stuff, and it's one of the most fun ways that we do stuff in class, you know.
Okay, so why is it the most fun?
I guess I just like it more. Like it's like gives me more opportunity to like, it allows me to interact with people that I would normally just be sitting in silence with, and it's a really like fun thing to do, you know.
So let me
active.
It's more active. Okay, it's more active, and then you get to talk to people more.
You do, because a couple times we've done on instead of on the computer math, we've been doing a couple sheets of just paper. On math on paper, and we've been able to get into groups of 2 or 3. She's let us do that and like talk with our group and solve the problems.
Do you guys like to do math on paper more than on the computer?
Depends.
Yes.
It depends. What do you mean by depends?
Our class.
Well, you go one at a time because you guys got different views on it.
Our class does SWON math, and we have the SWON math books, and we tear out the pages that we're doing for the lesson, and then we staple them together as like a math packet so that it's easier to go home and do the homework for that day. So our class usually does it on paper with the teacher, but when we have substitutes, we still have it on the paper, but we watch the SWON math lesson videos.
Okay, so you watch a video, so that's where you would use the computer for that. Do you ever get to do like when we were talking with the boys here, do you ever get to go like in groups and work with groups or stand up and work standing up at all in math?
Not much, but for the like before the test, when you have the review the like unit like paper before the test, we sometimes do like groups of that, and it's like a little game.
Okay.
And we work on the problems either together with our group or alone, and then we share with our group of what answers we got, and then the teacher does the rolls a dice and see what what number of the group member goes up and shows her the work, and if you got it correct, you get like 1 point for your team, or one 1 point for your team of which game we're playing.
So which do you like better? Do you like working with people with the math, or working by yourself and listening?
I like working by myself.
You do?
More. Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because probably because it's like more efficient.
More efficient. So it's
in
quicker?
the work, yeah.
It's quicker. Okay. All right. So, but if it was a hard problem, if it was a hard problem, if it was like a math extension problem, okay,
or like an extra task or something, then I would prefer doing it with like a group or something. Okay,
all right. So let's go back. We talked
the math on paper.
The math on paper versus computer.
I definitely like it better on paper.
Okay.
Because how it works on computer for us is that we go through the lesson, she teaches us how to do the stuff, and then we go on our computers to My Open Math, where it's a bunch of problems for the homework, and you can regenerate if you get it wrong, and basically there's the problem and then a small box where you can put your answer and type it in. And so let's say for on My Open Math, which is what we use, if I'm solving an equation, I get x equals 3/9. If I put in 3/9, it'll mark me wrong since I didn't put in 1/3. But if I do it on paper, if I put in 3/9, then she'll just mark it right and tell me to, like...
Because it's an equivalent form.
It is.
3/9, 1/3.
And tell me...
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
but
in fact, sometimes...
since I'm doing all the multiplication and stuff, that's what I end up with at the end of all the stuff, and then I just don't think to reduce it.
Yeah, and sometimes 3/9 actually means something more than 1/3 would mean, depending on the context. Like if it was a word problem, we were doing 3 and 9 as a ratio, we may not want to make it 1/3. We might want to keep it as 3/9.
It's just the
but the
normal
computer
equation.
it's normal equation, but the computer
program, yeah,
won't give you an equivalent form,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, so you don't like that. You don't like
I
when it messes up, when it doesn't allow you to put.
or
It has to
when
be so specific. I remember
and
working
then
with Dominic
for
on that.
equations, she does so that we don't just put it into equation calculator. She makes us show our work and like the processes that we go through all the stuff. And so if I write down on my paper at the end x equals -2, but I accidentally put in 2.
Yeah.
It's super annoying because then I have to do the entire problem again, even though I got the right answer.
And where maybe a mistake was.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. Well, you
no,
said
it's
negative.
because
It was
in
basically
it's because I
transfer
didn't
error.
put the
trans-
negative.
It was a transfer.
It's a transfer
error.
error, not a
Yeah.
not
It
a
is.
math error.
Yeah.
It's not.
So
yeah.
you're getting marked wrong for a transfer error.
Yeah.
That's kind of
So
messed up.
It's
super
weird.
annoying.
Yeah. Okay. So Dominic,
Yeah.
you said sometimes, and maybe on technology or you doing on math on the computer and doing math on paper. So what? Answer that.
I think that if I want like practice for something, like I'm not the most familiar with the with what I'm working on, I definitely prefer doing it on a computer and just like keeping notes on paper, because that helps me just like get more problems and a ton of different stuff. But if I want to do like a test or things like that, it definitely makes I prefer it on paper, because that allows me to really think it through and look at it, and like it's there for me to like
That
see.
was my next question. So I get it. So like being able to have something that auto generates like a problem, and then you can try it and it doesn't work, you can try it again and keep working until you
That's
get it
what
right.
My Open Math does.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you're
Keep it
talking
general.
about with technology. But my next question was a test. If you were taking a test
Paper.
or an assessment, paper or computer?
Paper.
Well, you don't take them on the computer, huh? You take yours all on paper,
I
right?
feel like I would
Do you
want
take your test on
Test.
computer? Yeah.
I take my tests on computer from Swan Math.
Yeah.
So would you rather do it on paper? The boys both voted paper.
No,
Yeah, for sure.
actually, I like doing it on computer because you can have like a scratch paper and like have your work there, so that like at the end of the test you can go through all of your answers again with your scratch paper, so that you know that they're correct.
Yeah.
And then
Are we afraid at all of transfer errors though? Like, what if your scratch paper was all right, but you put, like Elijah said, I put in -2 instead of +2.
I put in
that's
2
why-
instead
one
of
of my
negative.
main
That's
problems.
why every time we take a test, our teacher always says to check over your work,
Yeah.
so that you make sure you don't have a transfer error and your work is correct.
Right. So it's good to double check.
It's good to double check.
yeah.
For equations, I
biggest-
just put in the check because you
My
can check
biggest
equations.
problem with electronic tests is that I'm not able to. Honestly, I don't like being given the opportunity, at least on tests, to retry any answers. So sometimes I had tests that were set up like that, where you were allowed like a retry in the test, and I don't like even just having that option. I think it's like it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
All right. So what if after the test you looked at the test and you figured out what you did wrong, and then you got a chance to do another test?
That's
I
what
like
Miss
that
Rudy
idea.
likes to
Yeah.
do. That's what my
Because-
math
That
teacher.
would be a nice idea.
Yeah.
That's what she allows us to retake tests.
Yeah.
All we want.
That's a good idea. Why?
It allows you to really internalize what happened and then get a different version of the test, so that now you're more familiar, and now you can reapply it and see how much you improved.
And then that way you know that you know it, right?
Yeah, like in every time our class goes to computers and we have like the computer tests like on typing agent.
Tests.
It gives you the option to do it 2 times, so that you can do it once and then another time, and they keep your best score of those 2 times. So it would be better to do it 2 times, so that if you get one score on one of the tests, then you get a different score on the other test, then they can keep which one you got the better test score.
Do you guys all agree you should get the better of the 2 scores?
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, because that's really...
Because if you get a 80% on a test and then you retake it and get a 75, your grade shouldn't be a 75.
Because your best one was an 80.
Because you already got an 80. But I don't really like that form of being able to take it twice, because then you do it once, you have no time to practice, and then you do it again.
Oh, that's true. I was just
because you don't get to practice and learn.
Which is why you might get a 75. Like, you shouldn't get an 80 and then a 75 if you had time to practice the stuff that you know that you missed, right?
You shouldn't get that. You should get a higher score.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, I got one more question, and then we're gonna read a book, because we got a book and Gabby's that we really like. We got when you guys were little. So a question is, what makes you feel like you're good at math? Like, what makes you feel like you're a confident math person?
When you get like practice, and like if you don't understand something, you can like ask different questions to make you understand it.
Okay.
And so I think that I don't feel necessarily confident when I get the right answer. I feel confident when I know I have the right answer.
Oh, okay.
Like, if I think I have the right answer, but I'm not necessarily confident, and then it is the right answer, I feel like I should try it again until I know for certain that it is the right answer.
So
every
it's
time
like
I do it.
It's like you'd be willing to bet like $100 on it.
Yeah.
I would be willing to bet money.
Yeah, and then you're good.
Yeah.
How about you, Dominic?
I agree with Elijah. I think that I feel confident when I know for a fact I have the right answer, and that just makes me feel like I know what I'm doing.
And not just the right answer, but the right process.
What I do is I don't go until I get it right. I go until I can do it right consistently.
Oh, okay.
Until I can keep doing it. Because
one's not enough, right?
If I try 5 problems and then get it wrong, and then do another 3 missed, and then get it right again, I'm not going to go to a test. Yeah. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to practice more.
So how many times do you think you need to get a problem right that you think you would know the process?
5.
3. I would get it right 3 times in a row.
3 times in a row? 5 times in a row?
That would be frightening.
How about you, Dominic?
I think that makes sense.
Like 3?
Like 3 or 4.
3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah, my band directors have a saying, our visual instructor has a saying, that the first time it was luck, the second time that's a coincidence, the third time means that you know how to do it.
Nice. Yeah, that's what the research says, by the way, in that book that I keep talking about. It says 3 times.
And on like our math wall, it has a small poster that says, "Mistakes allow learning to happen."
Yeah.
It says that that's the meaning of math.
You're right. Yeah, totally. Math is best done when you make a mistake, because then that's when you know how to fix it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we've got this book. We bought this book when you guys were little, and it's one of my favorite books. It's by Tara Lazar, I think it's called 789, The Untold Story. So Gabby and Elijah are going to read it for us.
Gabby, you
so, Are you gonna read? She's gonna read most of it.
She's gonna read most of
Okay.
it.
Yes.
Gabby can read most of it. Because
So-
I know she wants to.
Yes.
All right.
So there are pictures on the front,
Yeah.
and it
They're
has,
pictures of numbers.
They're pictures of numbers. Yeah.
They've got like little feet and hands on.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
And a face.
And
Yeah.
a face. And
Some
so,
of them just in the number, and some of them in like a tiny hole. Like 6 has the face in the hole.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and
8
8
has it in the
and
top hole.
0.
So does 0.
and 9. And so the first picture is a picture of 1, and it's green, and it has a caption, "A lonely guy." So 1 is a lonely guy. And then the next
By
one is
itself.
4, and 4 is red, and it says, "Don't even go there."
Don't even go there.
And then it has a picture of 9, purple 9, and it says, "Missing."
Oh, 9 is missing.
9 is missing. And it shows a picture of a pier, and it says, "Last seen at the pier." So 9 was last seen at the pier.
Ah.
And 7
0
is red, reddish orange, and it says, "The prime suspect."
Don't forget, he has a fork and a knife right now.
Yes, he has a
Don't
fork.
forget this. It's carrying
Yeah.
Don't forget that he has a fork and a knife
in his hand right now.
in his hands.
Trying to eat iron.
And then 5 is purple, or like a bluey purple, and it says, "Works 9 to 5.
Ah.
And then number 2 is orange, and it says, "Always seen in a pair."
Because there's 2.
And then 6 is green, and it says, "The client." 11 is a blue gradient, and it says, "Possible accomplice."
Accomplice.
Yes, I said that.
No,
And then it
wait,
shows a picture
whatever.
of like a downtown area. It says downtown. Then it says it's like a cafe, and it says "Good Pie."
Good pie. It's spelled
Good pie.
P-I.
It is. It's not P-I-E. It's just P-I.
P-I.
As in,
Yeah,
you know,
pie.
3.14159265.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
those
Yeah, we won't go on.
the pie
I'm not
numbers.
gonna keep talking. It would never end. This podcast would never end if I kept going.
the
then
podcast
8
to infinity.
And then 8 is yellow, and it says, "Behind the 8 ball." And then 3 is like a greenish blue, and it says, "Lost in a crowd." And then 0 is like a yellowy orange, and "Can't count on her."
Nope. All right, so let's
start
let's
the
read.
Start the book. 7,
Seven.
8, 9.
The
The
Untold
Untold
Story.
Story. I was dozing in my chair when an urgent banging on my office door bolted me awake. It was 6. Something had scared the pants off him.
Oh, where's on the bottom? I think there's a sentence on the bottom.
7 is coming to get me, said 6. And it shows a picture of I in an office, and then 6 barging in.
They'll if they want to buy the book, they can go to Amazon and buy the book.
Yeah.
You don't have to describe the pictures.
You don't get it. Don't describe
Okay.
the pictures.
Yeah.
Don't
I
take too long.
won't. As a private eye, I'm used to type numbers. They're always stuck in a problem. But I knew about this 7 fella.
Always stuck in a
He was
problem.
odd.
He was odd. Seven
He was odd. Take it easy, 6, I said. What's 7 up to? The word on the street is that 7 ate 9, and now he's after me, said 6. Well, technically he's always after you, I said. There's 5, then 6, then 7. See, that proves it. I told 6 not to panic. Stay here. I'll get to the root of this. I hope so, said 6. I fear my days are numbered.
I'll
Alright.
get to the root
I'm
of
gonna
it.
read it.
Okay.
First, I went looking for 8. She was usually caught between 7 and 9. I found her at the corner of 2nd Avenue and 4th Street. But 8 knew nothing. Nada. Zilch.
2nd and 4th Street. What's 2 times 4?
8.
Ah.
If it's true, 8 said, then I'm next in line. In a flash, she took off her belt. Now 8 looked just like 0. Good disguise. I needed a solid lead. I strolled into Cafe Uno, leaned on the counter, and ordered a slice of pie, again spelled P-I. B, the waitress, had the scoop. Here you go.
Yeah, I heard 7, 8, 9, she said. So, you haven't seen 9 around? I asked. Negative, said B. He just disappeared.
Math puns, yep.
So, 9 was gone. I couldn't let 7 be the only one who got away, but I needed more data. I went to see 11. She and 7 are like two peas in a pod. 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
Hey, I love that place.
7 couldn't have done it, said 11. He's on vacation. Are you sure? I prodded. I'm positive. I saw him leave. But if 7 was gone, then where was 9? It didn't add up. Frustrated, I headed back uptown. That's when I saw him crossing the street. Finally, I put 2 and 2 together.
I had to get back to the office. On the double, I told the driver. Wait. I busted through my office door and found 6 taking 40 winks. I have solved this numerical nonsense, I cried. I grabbed 6 and turned him upside down. His true color was revealed.
Oh.
Just as I suspected, my client, 6, was really 9. You had everyone worried, 9, I said. Why did you say that 7, 8, 9? Because 7 gets all the attention. Lucky 7. 7 wonders of the world. Snow White and the 7 dwarves. Figures. 9 felt like he didn't measure up. 7, 7, 7. It's like I don't exist. Folks hurry right past me on their way to 10. Don't even get me started on 10. Everyone thinks he's perfect.
Perfect 10.
I zeroed in on 9. Are you kidding? You should be on cloud 9 right now. Happy as can be. The whole 9 yards. How come? Asked 9. Because you've got 9 lies. That's when 11 showed up. Look who's back, she said. It was 7. Stammered 9. No hard feelings, 7, old pal. Sure, let's not be divided, 7 said. Because you can't divide 9 and 7.
No.
Well, I mean...
You can get a fraction.
You can...
Okay.
You can do this.
You can
I
get
would have
decimal.
to do that.
Yeah.
Actually, I would just put 7 over 9.
7 seemed awfully pleased
7.
for a number who had been framed. Why so happy, 7? I asked. I just sailed the 7 seas. I'm in 7th heaven. At last, everyone was back in order. And now I could take letter cases again. Letters can be wordy at times, but they're A-OK in my book.
The next day, while dozing in my chair, my phone bolted me awake. I'd recognize her voice anywhere. It was 2, with another problem to solve. I've really got to change my number.
And that is 7, 8,
The
9.
end.
The end.
All right, guys.
What
well,
happened? Where's 6 though?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
where did-
oh.
Yeah,
no.
we're 6.
He saw 6 out in the open,
Oh,
but
that's
he
what-
was like, "Wait a minute, 6 is in my office."
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was.
That's what it was. That's what it was. That's where 6 is.
All right, so thank you guys for joining me on the podcast and telling everybody about your math classes and your math thoughts. Sometimes maybe sometime soon maybe we'll do it again and I'll ask you more stuff about your math.
Alright.
And maybe we'll even do a math problem I wanted to do one, but we
Yeah,
didn't get a chance to.
yeah.
Well,
I
we
want
can,
Alright.
I
I
can
wanna
grab
do that.
paper if you want.
Yeah, well, I think we're coming
Yeah.
coming to the end of this podcast.
Yeah.
We normally run about 30 minutes, so All right, guys, say bye to everyone out there. Bye.
Bye, viewers.
Bye.
Yeah,
All right.
bye, viewers.
I meant listeners. You guys don't
Yeah,
watch.
listeners.
You can't see anything.
You can't see us.
Bye,
They're like
listeners.
John Cena. You're guys
Yeah.
with John Cena right now.
Yeah, we're done seeing
Can't
it.
see
All right, thanks for listening, everyone.
it.